Following an area of privatization, we are now seeing an increasingly strong role of governments in the energy sector. Of course, most of the economic operators in the energy sector are private actors, but that doesn't mean that government is not intervening to a larger extent and to increasing extent. What's the main rationale behind this? So there's three major reasons for this. The first one, of course, is to address climate change. We're seeing increasing government intervention not only in Europe but also in the US, in China as well, with the likely introduction of economy-wide emissions trading schemes. And that means that the need to address climate change is prompting additional government intervention in the energy market. Then, of course, there's two further drivers. The one is the growing role of renewable energy. So that is a very important driver, and also we are seeing in projections, even the very pessimistic projections, that renewable energy is going to have a huge share in the electricity market. And by virtue of that, we need to readjust the way that energy production and capacity are rewarded. The third important driver is the need to address planned retirement. So in the UK, but also in the rest of Europe, we are seeing the retirement of conventional and nuclear plants. And that means that the government somehow needs to ensure that there's continued enough capacity on the grid in order to ensure security of supply. Government is responding to that in many European countries with the introduction of capacity markets. Now, care needs to be taken when designing these capacity markets so that they don't perpetuate the same problem that we currently have on the energy market. Capacity market basically operates by rewarding capacity, so not energy produced. Usually the wholesale market is rewarding you for every unit of energy that you put into the system, regardless of how much capacity you're holding as a backup. So what a lot of European governments are doing is that they're sort of addressing the security of supply issue in a way that is separate from the need to address climate change. So there's a real risk that the introduction of capacity markets may lead to coal plants staying on the grid longer than they would be economically efficient. Now, this could counteract the need to address climate change. So what we think is that government should not treat those issues separately, those three issues: the expansion of renewables, the need to address climate change, and the need to ensure security of supply. So how you can address those jointly is through markets for flexibility. They would be much more forward-looking. Markets for flexibility would not only reward flexible conventional plants like gas plants, but they would also reward demand-side response. They would reward swarms of plants aggregated through ICT, so renewable energy plants that are aggregated through ICT. And of course, they would also reward energy efficiency, for example. So through that, you could reach a situation in which you jointly address these three issues rather than treating them separately. And that should be the way forward.